What's going on, guys? Dick's Report here. No intro this time. Right now I'm going to break down 9 through 1 in the Big Ten Power Rankings. Not wasting any time, let's start with number 9. Okay, at number 9 we have the USC Trojans. Now the Trojans, it was not looking good for them. At one point they were 4-5, and then they turned to Jaden Mayava, and he got wins in 3 of their last 4 games, including the bowl games. So they finished at 7-6. Now he takes over as the full-time starting quarterback. Woody Marks and Quinton Jordan are gone at running back, but Eli Sanders comes in, and their top 3 targets are also back. Tight end Lake McCree, Micaiah Lemon, and Jacoby Lane. All of them are back, and the offensive line, the interior is going to be fine. The tackles are going to have a little bit of a competition, but hopefully they're able to get solid play. So the offense should be fine. The defense, there are a few guys returning, but there are other guys that left as well. So really with USC, look, we know the historical side of USC, and they're hoping to get back to that. This move to the Big Ten, it wasn't a great first season, but they did get to a bowl game. So they finished their first season with a winning record. Now you have a quarterback that you can trust with targets that he can have. Again, as long as the offensive line is solid, should be fine there. You got some guys back on defense that should be leaders of that defense. Hopefully it's going to be a solid season for them. And Lincoln Riley, I mean, it's been a little bit of up and down since he took over as the USC head coach. However, with USC, never count them out for anything. Number 8 comes the Iowa Hawkeyes. And the Hawkeyes, well, 2 things that we've noticed from them for the last decade or so. One good, one not so good. The good part, they seem to just turn out linebackers. Now, Jay Higgins is gone. He was the top guy last year. However, I trust them. Defensive end, Nathan Herkit, I'm hoping I said that right, and Deshaun Lee, their top corner, both of them are going to be back. Really, with Iowa's defense, it's always one of the best, not only in the Big Ten, in college football. The only problem is the offense has had its issues, and Caleb Johnson is gone. He was probably the best running back in the Big Ten last year. I'm just going to say it. He was that good of a running back. Now, the not-so-good part, their quarterback play has been borderline a disaster. They just have not been able to get consistent quarterback play. But getting Mark Gronkowski, I'm hoping I'm saying that name right, in the transfer portal was big for them. This guy is a proven starter. Here's the thing with Iowa. If they get solid quarterback play, they're going to make some noise this year. That's just how Iowa is. It always seems like they have been a quarterback away. I mean, the offensive line, it's always one of the best. And you have 2 starters that one could potentially hit 50 career college starts this year if he stays healthy. That is insane. You never see that from too many people in college football, particularly on the offensive line. So that's insane if their center actually does hit 50 career starts. And again, it all depends on if Mark Gronkowski can deliver solid quarterback play and who will step up in that Caleb Johnson starting running back role. Now, Caleb Johnson, he really cannot be replaced. However, you get solid quarterback play along with solid running back play, along with a defense that, again, should be very, very good. Again, Iowa could definitely make some noise. It just all depends if they get decent quarterback play. It's about as simple as that. Nebraska's kind of a tough one to figure out. They're in at number 7, and with them, they went 7-6. They won their bowl game. Dylan Raiola, while he had an up and down freshman year, really showed that he can be a quality quarterback at this level. Lose their top running back, but Emma Thomas is going to be back. They lose their top 2 receivers. However, Ja'Cory Barney is back. Lose a few of their top defenders, but you get Deshaun Singleton back, along with Sarah White, Vincent Shavers, a few others. So it's really hard for me to say what exactly to expect from Nebraska. I expect them to at least go 6-6, but Matt Rhule's coming into his 3rd year as the head coach of Nebraska, and now's really the time where you want them to make some noise. I just don't know if that's in the cards for them this year. I would love to see Nebraska make some noise this year, but again, it's just hard to really break down what's going to happen. At the very least, they should win 6 games, but what more can we expect from them this year? I'm not entirely sure. However, I could see them being in the top 5. I could also see them falling out of the top 10. Really, with Nebraska, it's really hard to break down what could happen with this team this year. Coming in at number 6, we have Indiana, probably the biggest surprise team in all of college football last year. They get a new head coach and right away led them to the college football playoff. Only lost one game the entire regular season. That was to Ohio State, and we all know they won the national championship. And they had talent coming back as well. D'Angelo Pons is back. Isaiah Jones. Their leading tackler, Aiden Fisher. Their top 2 receivers and a few others are all going to be back. That is big for a team that really was not supposed to do anything last year, and we know sometimes when those happen, the fallout is pretty big, but with a lot of returning talent, it's pretty good. Now, they did lose their quarterback and their top rushers. However, they get Roman Himby from Maryland, and let me tell you, watching Roman Himby, he can break a long one at any point. Take a look at the 75-yard run that he had against Northwestern a few years ago. It was insane when he did that. And then they get Fernando Mazda, hopefully I am saying that right, former quarterback from California, was solid for them. Now he comes to Indiana. Yeah, I'm confident in saying I think Indiana can win at least 8 or 9 games if they can play like they did last year. The only question is, can they go on that run like they did last year, get back to the college football playoff? That might be a lot to ask, but I mean, great head coach, it looks like, after that first season. Man, I'm still in shock as to what Indiana did last year, and I can't wait to see what they do in their head coach's second year. Coming in number 5, we have the Michigan Wolverines, and I know we'll talk about the elephant in the room later. On the defensive side, Derek Moore is back, Jair Hill is back, and their top 2 tacklers, Ernest Hessman and Jay Sean Barham, they're back as well, along with a few other pieces on that defense. All of those guys will be back in 2025. On the offensive side of the ball, their top 2 receivers are gone. Hopefully some young guys are going to be able to step up. But the biggest thing is quarterback. Okay, I'm not even going to beat around the bush. We know at some point Bryce Underwood is going to take that starting role. He was a number 1 overall recruit in this recruiting class. There's no reason as to why he shouldn't be starting at some point this year. Now, I will talk about this for just a minute. At the time of recording this, it was just announced the additional punishments that could be coming to Michigan, including head coach Sharon Moore getting an additional game suspension. Then you also have over a $20 million fine. How much is this going to affect Michigan? It remains to be seen, but it's not a good look for them right now. But I do have them in the top 5 for the power rankings. There could be good times this year. Maybe they can overcome this, makes them a stronger team, or it could cause them to fall apart. I don't know. You never know with stuff like this. So really for Michigan, it remains to be seen what's going to happen. And yeah, they had the winning streak against Ohio State up in the air again this year. And we'll see. Can they upset Ohio State once again? That, I don't know. I really don't. With Michigan, it's just a lot up in the air right now, and it's hard to really put into words just what we can expect from them. I would just say find a way to get to 6 and then do whatever else you can to win games at that point. That's all I can say about this team. Okay, number 4, we have Illinois. How many people are shocked that I have Illinois this high on the list? I'm not. After looking at this roster and what they could possibly do this year, it's kind of exciting because their top 5 tacklers are back, along with their leading sack master and their leader in interceptions. On the offensive side of the ball, you get back your quarterback, Lou Altmaier, who had a terrific season last year, did his job very well, didn't turn the ball over. He only threw 6 interceptions all year. Now, their top 2 receivers are gone, along with their top running back. However, they have guys that could step up this year and fill in those roles. There is a lot to be excited about with Illinois, and I can't wait to see what they do once this season starts. I could definitely see them getting at least 8, 9 wins, maybe even get 10 wins this year if things go their way. With Illinois, they really could be in for a big season. Don't sleep on them. Really, don't. Okay, so we have 3 teams remaining. Oregon, Penn State, and Ohio State. The only question is, where are these teams ranked? And coming in number 3 is Oregon. Now, Oregon, this is interesting because they got to the quarterfinals last year when it looked like they could make a run to the national championship, but they lost in the quarterfinal to Ohio State. That was after winning the Big Ten in their first year, joining the conference, but they lost a lot from last year. Derek Harmon was a first-round pick. They lose Jordan Broach. However, their top sacker, Mateo Ungale, is back. They also lose Kobe Savage and Tasheen Johnson. They do have their leading tackler back. However, there is a lot to replace. And then on the offense side of the ball, let's see, their best offensive linemen are gone. Their top 2 receivers are gone. And to make matters even worse for the receiving core, Evan Stewart, who was expected to be the number 1, is out long-term with an injury. We have no idea when he's going to be on the field, if he's going to be on the field at all this year. And then Jordan James, our top running back, is gone. However, Noah Whittingham should be a good replacement for him. And then Dylan Gabriel, their quarterback from last year, is gone. However, they do have Dante Moore, who was a former high recruit. Did start a few games over at UCLA. Now is at Oregon, expected to be the starter. The only question with Moore is, can he step into that starting role, because he didn't play fantastic at UCLA. But when it comes to Oregon and their head coach, they do find a way to get good players on the offensive side of the ball. They do that a lot, but this is a lot to replace. They do have DeCorian Moore, who was one of the top recruits in this recruiting class, but man, there's just a lot to replace, and I'm not going to say Oregon's just going to fall from a playoff team to winning 6 games, but it's going to be hard for them to really replicate what they did last year with all the losses that they have, and even more so with Evan Stewart out of the picture too. It's just going to make things even harder for them. Again, there's a lot of good players, and I do expect Oregon to win at least 9 games, but it's going to be hard for them to repeat when you take a look at Ohio State and Penn State. That's why I have Oregon as number 3, and those 2 ranked ahead of them. All right, coming in number 2, we have Ohio State. Now, Ohio State, they did lose a lot as well. So their top 2 running backs are gone, but they get C.J. Donaldson, the transfer portal, and James Peoples is going to step up as well. Quarterback Will Howard is gone. Julian Sane takes over. More on him later. But they do get back Jeremiah Smith, who won the Big Ten Receiver of the Year. Did lose a few pieces on the offensive line as well, but I'm not too concerned with that. And on the defense, we know they did lose a lot. But Caleb Downs is back, along with Sonny Styles. Those were 2 big pieces that they got back. Really, with Ohio State, we know that they just pretty much reload. All right? That's what they do every year. They just reload. It's never a rebuild. They're able to find great players. And at the quarterback position, Will Howard did his job. I mean, they won a national championship, and he had to have some part of that. Okay? Now, with saying this was a former top recruit, now he's coming into this starting role. It is going to be a lot. But again, I trust Ohio State's coaches with what they can do. And really with Ohio State, it's just who's going to step up rather than if anybody's going to step up. It's who, not if somebody steps up. It's about as simple as that. So with Ohio State, I would still expect them to compete for the Big Ten championship. Probably expect for them to be in the Big Ten championship. Expect for them to be back in the college football playoff. That's just what they do every single year at this point. I mean, Ohio State is Ohio State, and it would take something drastic to really change that at this point. All right, we know who number 1 is. It's Penn State. And Penn State, there's just a lot to like about this team. This is a team that returns a lot of talent, including their quarterback, Drew Eller, who is not only expected to be a top quarterback in college football this year, he could be the first overall pick in the 2026 draft. You get back Nick Singleton, Katron Allen at running back. That's just a deadly duo. Both of those guys could have left and gotten drafted easily, but both of them decided to come back. On the defense side of the ball, while Abdul Carter is gone, you do get back Deneen Denton-Sutton, who was second in the team in sacks. Tony Rojas and Zakee Wheatley had 3 interceptions apiece last year. Now, they do have to figure out the receiving core. They lost a good number of their top guys, including tight end Tyler Warren, but they brought in 2 guys in the transfer portal. Some guys are also coming back. really with Penn State, yeah, they should have national champion aspirations, and you could easily put them number one in terms of all the teams in college football at this point. That's just where you see Penn State competing at this year. Now, the biggest thing for them is going to be quarterback Drew Aller. Yes, he's expected to be a top quarterback, but at the same time, we need to see more from him. He's been acting more as a game manager than anything else, and I think for James Franklin and this Penn State team to really get where they want to go, they need to just take the training wheels off and let him be more than just a game manager at this point. Let him really take things to the next level, because this is a quarterback that can make the throws, doesn't turn the ball over that much, and really just has control of that offense. That's exactly the kind of quarterback that he is. And I do think Allen's going to have a terrific season if everything goes like it should. It's about as simple as that. If everything goes as it should for Penn State, they could definitely, easily be in the national championship. The only question is, will it? Because in terms of football and sports in general, not everything that's expected to happen happens. Alright? It's about as simple as that for Penn State. They are definitely number one, but with high expectations come high drops if it doesn't go to plan. Alright guys, those were my thoughts on the Big Ten Power Rankings. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Who did I get right? Who did I get wrong? And is Penn State the best team in college football this year, or is it somebody else? My next video will be the NFL Power Rankings, so be on the lookout for that. And as always, I'll see you guys next time.